This is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game The Last Friday, which is a cooperative one versus many game with hidden movement that takes place thematically in pretty much every horror movie set at a summer camp. Just the other day, unrelated to The Last Friday, someone asked me about my opinion on variance in games. Like, sometimes you'll get to the end of a rule book and you'll see that there's like 3 or 4 different variants for a game, and the person asked for my opinion on them. And one of my thoughts, in general, I don't like variants all that much. I want to have one official way to play the game. I want it to be the best way, and I want to play that way. I'm okay with variants if sometimes variants fix things in certain circumstances, and I'm okay with that. But with completely different versions of the game, I just want the best version. With the exception of something that The Last Friday does, which is it integrates variants thematically into an overall narrative arc. So in The Last Friday, it plays out in chapters. In the first chapter, you are, most of the players, this was my experience when I played it recently at Geekway, I was a camper at a summer camp, and we were being hunted by the bad guy, who we didn't know where he was on the board. So we're trying to do things. We're trying to get into the cabins and deliver and like get the keys to the cabins and get to the cabins. And meanwhile, we are being hunted by the bad guy and trying not to die. That's chapter 1, and it takes about 30 minutes, maybe. It moves really quickly. Then you get to play chapter 2. In chapter 2, the tables turn, and the campers are hunting for the bad guy. They're trying to find the bad guy and trying to kill the bad guy. But we still don't know where he is. The bad guy's still moving hidden around the board. So the core rules of the game are very much the same, but the objective is different. Then in the third chapter, say the bad guy dies, and the blue player is the one that killed the bad guy. The blue player becomes the predestined player. So thematically, this means that the bad guy is now hunting. The bad guy comes back to life, and now he is now hunting for that specific player. Again, same hidden movement rules apply, except there are some other things happening because the bad guy can still kill the other campers in this chapter, in chapter 3. But all the other campers are also trying to kind of protect the predestined player by finding the bad guy. So it's this cat and mouse chapter that's really, really interesting. And then in the last chapter, if the bad guy hasn't killed the predestined player, there is a 4th chapter in which, again, we're all hunting the bad guy, but only the predestined player can kill the bad guy at that point. Again, similar rules, hidden movement, bad guy's moving around in a hidden way, and we're all trying to find him as the campers. And it was just exhilarating. It captured the feel of one of these movies perfectly without adding too much complexity to the rules every time we tried a new chapter. There were just very, very minor changes between the chapters, but because of the objectives changing, it really had a very different feel from chapter to chapter. And as variants, we were essentially playing 4 variants of the same game, but thematically they fit perfectly into about a 2-hour window of one longer game of The Last Friday. So I love this element. I love variants, and I'm sure there's some other cases of this, but I like variants that work thematically into the game, and not just in like a scenario way, because we were kind of playing 4 different scenarios, but they all seamlessly came together within the same game, the same one single game session, rather than being like we play a scenario here, then we play a completely different scenario here. They just really all came together really well like that. So I wanted to see if you had any other examples of games that do this, where the variants fit seamlessly into the same gaming session, rather than branching off into different scenarios or different variants every time you play. And it might actually be pretty rare. I don't know if I've seen this elsewhere. But I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've seen it, or if you have a favorite mechanism in The Last Friday that you'd like to talk about. Thanks.